7:20 the time now. From finding bombs to catching drug smugglers, a dog's sense of smell has long been used to help law enforcement to do their jobs. Now, a new trial has started to see if it could help doctors diagnose Parkinson's disease earlier.
Which would be amazing. The degenerative condition affects more than 10 million people worldwide. It's often only identified years after symptoms first appear. Breakfast Tim Muffet has been to see the dogs in action.
Kiwi is demonstrating a remarkable skill.
So this is one of our fully trained cancer detection dogs, and this dog is looking for cancer cells in a urine sample. Dogs can smell the odour of human disease. I mean, it sounds incredible, doesn't it? But when we have a disease or an infection, we have a biochemical change in our body, and this changes our smell.
The ability of dogs to sniff out cancer has been acknowledged for years, but now Kiwi and other medical detection dogs are beginning a new challenge.
What we're hoping to do is to train them to find the odour associated with Parkinson's disease.
Communication.
Correct. If they can do this, they could revolutionise the way in which Parkinson's is detected.
Parkinson's disease is a degenerative neurological condition with no cure. Les Milne died in 2015, having had it for 20 years.
Seeing him change, we didn't know what it was.
Parkinson's can cause body tremors and leave sufferers unable to speak or walk. But as there's no diagnostic test, in its early stages, sufferers often miss out on medication that can help.
We didn't understand what was happening.
Joy, however, has a highly developed sense of smell. She noticed something different about Les 10 years before doctors diagnosed Parkinson's.
I started complaining about his smell.
So what was this smell like you could detect on your husband?
I describe it as a very strong musky smell.
After Les's diagnosis, Joy noticed the same smell on other sufferers.
I said to him, "But those people smell the same as you." And he said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, the people who have Parkinson's in the group smell the same as you.
Joy's sense of smell is so strong, doctors say it's rarely seen in humans. For dogs, however, it's a different story.
Some breeds of dog have more than 200 million scent receptors in their nose. That's compared to around 5 million for a human. And many believe that by harnessing that incredible sense of smell, more medical conditions could be sniffed out earlier.
These medical detection dogs live with families and come to the testing centre during the daytime. Backed by the charity Parkinson's UK, swabs from Parkinson's sufferers will be introduced to see if the dogs can identify them.
People might present at a neurological clinic, or they might go to casualty because they've had a fall, or because they've had some other event that's not usual for them. And very rarely will they think they might have Parkinson's. But if we could develop an early test, it really improves the patient's well-being if they know what's going on.
The research and training will take 6 months, but 200 years after the condition was identified, it's hoped dogs will soon help doctors diagnose Parkinson's earlier. Tim Muffet, BBC News.
It's just an amazing story. Dr. Becky Port from Parkinson's UK joins us now, and it's wonderful to see those dogs in action. And how important do you think this could be?
So at the minute we have no definitive diagnostic test of Parkinson's. It's very hard to diagnose, and we hear all the times at Parkinson's UK of stories where people have waited months, maybe even longer, or they were misdiagnosed to start off with. So diagnosis is a real issue for many people. And it's also one of the reasons why we haven't developed any treatments that slow or stop the condition, because we just can't find out who's got it early enough. So we're looking for treatments that might be able to save those brain cells that are being lost in Parkinson's. And one of the best ways to find new treatments would be to diagnose people at the earliest possible.
Really fascinating hearing from, it was Joy, wasn't it, who described that smell she detected in her own husband and then said, "I'm smelling the same smell in other Parkinson's sufferers." Now, at what point does that, almost anecdotal, I mean, she knows it because it was what happened, but at what point does that become something that's almost anecdotal, what people think is happening, but then possibly become part of science, part of treatment?
Yeah, so she spoke to a researcher called Thilo. She went to an event and after the the event finished, Thilo, this researcher, asked her to smell 12 different shirts. 6 of them had been worn by people affected by Parkinson's, 6 of them people that had not got the condition. And she smelt them, she got all but one right, being able to tell who had Parkinson's, who did not. And the one that she got wrong, she was adamant the person had Parkinson's. And they were diagnosed within a few months.
Wow.
It's just staggering, isn't it? And so much that we don't know in life and that could help us. And for people who go on to have it, how much difference would it make to know, and we talked a little bit about it there, but to knowing and to their treatment would it make?
So at the minute, we don't have any drugs that can slow down Parkinson's. So treatment may not change if you're diagnosed earlier, but it's all about the stress of not knowing what condition you have. So it's definitely not useful waiting so long for a diagnosis. But as I said, it really could help with developing new treatments that we desperately need for the condition, so that we can start tackling it and saving brain cells.
Becky Port, thank you very much.